Let's continue with criminal defense attorney and legal expert Alison Triessl and body language expert and former military interrogator Lena Sisco. Alison, the verdict is in. In minutes, we should know how the sentencing phase happens. But this defense team, they're likely going to appeal. What's their greatest opening here?
Well, the difficulty is their client's been found guilty. The judge has already used the words overwhelming evidence. It took this jury less than 3 hours. There was 70 witnesses. It was a 6-week trial. And he has to appeal. So it's very difficult for him to be contrite, be remorseful, and say anything when they intend to appeal. So he really cannot admit guilt. How are you remorseful for something you're still going to say you did not do? It's going to be tough.
Lena, during the reading of the verdict, a lot of people were looking at Alex's son, Buster. What did his body language suggest, especially perhaps not knowing how much of a burden he carries as the only remaining family member in a sense?
Well, I think even Alex's body language spoke more, but Buster, shock, but Alex was nodding yes. And it was almost as though he was saying, yeah, I deserve this. Yep.
Alison, in his sentencing the next hour here, is there a standard sentence in South Carolina for a crime like this?
Well, here's the thing, that this man now has been convicted of murdering his son and his wife. It would be very surprising to me if this judge does not sentence him to life in prison. And certainly these other crimes of which he stands accused that were admitted into evidence in this case, essentially, and that was the bulk of a lot of the testimony, the court's going to take that into consideration. There's no way in my mind that he's not going to get life in prison.
Well, there's no way. I mean, if he faces a count of 30 years to life for each murder charge, that's 60 years.
Correct.
Plus, he has the 99 financial crimes that he still has to face.
Right. So putting those aside, because that's still a trial to come, I don't see any way that this judge, given how heinous these crimes were, given the cover-up, given the fact that he testified, I don't see there's any way that this judge is not going to give him 2 life sentences.
Wow. Lena, should Buster take the stand in this sentencing hearing? Do you think this will help at all?
I don't think it's going to help. If you can see and hear what I have and what the jury has, it is overwhelming. And he lied. And if you go back to the very first 911 call and when the police showed up on the scene, his mind was all about building an alibi. Truthful, innocent people don't think that way, but a guilty person does. And they start formulating conversations about protecting myself. And that's what Alec did.
Alison, there was a perception by many that Murdaugh would get off. The family is very well known, very prominent, very well liked. So does that have any impact on sentencing at this case? Or do you think that the court will try to make an example of this man?
He doesn't have to do much to make an example of this man. I mean, the crimes that he committed are heinous. He literally blew his wife's brains out. He killed his own son. He lied and lied. And but for the fact that that video that Paul took, he may not have gotten convicted. But this was overwhelming evidence. And so I don't think it's as much about really, I'm going to go after Murdaugh and I'm going to show the rest of the world that we do have justice in our town, as much as the judge is justified in giving him life in prison because of the nature of the offense.
But I guess, I talked to Mark Garagos about this case, and he was seeing several holes in the prosecution. Now, hindsight being 2020, maybe he would say something different today. But the fact is, there are still going to be people who think that he is innocent and that he didn't commit these crimes. So
that's because this was a circumstantial case. There were no murder weapons. There were no eyewitnesses, no direct evidence. So those things, when there's no murder weapon, it's not really an easy case for the prosecution, but it was an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
And when he took the stand and had to admit to lying over and over, I think that's what sunk him, along with the video.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Alison and Lena, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.